Game of Thrones Season 7 finale, The Dragon and the Wolf. Wow, it's over. 2 years.
Is that confirmed, or is that just a rumor going around?
Pretty sure it's confirmed.
Production hasn't even started yet. I don't think it starts
October.
until October. I'm thinking it's not going to be a year, maybe a year and a half.
Still too long.
Yeah.
Should probably come back like tomorrow.
Oh, before we get to this episode, overall feelings on the season. I guess we'll start with you, Aaron, the resident Game of Thrones expert.
Season definitely had a lot of ups and downs, but I think they ended it right with this episode. I felt it was a very solid episode, and actually, I know Marissa said this before, it kind of made me like the last episode a little more. Because I kind of did connect some of the dots that people were talking about, how like, well, this kind of doesn't make sense. I guess the main example is that I guess the Night King basically lured Daenerys out with her dragon because he needed it to take the wall down.
I still think that maybe they shouldn't have picked a rock on a frozen lake. I think they should have killed the dragon in a different way, but I'm now satisfied with the ending. Like, seeing the ice dragon take down the wall was pretty dope. It was good to finally be able to see that. Also, he was like zooming, literally zooming.
He was peeling. It's a good season, but compared to all the other seasons, it's probably like third worst for me.
Well, I mean, it's arguable. We'll get into that later. But we might as well start at the end when the wall finally does come down. We've been predicting it for how many years? Like 17 years?
I think every episode of last season we said, oh, this is the one when the wall gets down, and about 3 episodes this season. So it finally happened. I'm going to take credit for predicting it. I mean, because...
Hedging your bets.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many times you predict it. If it eventually comes true, I'll count it. But it was definitely... It didn't come down like I thought it would, actually. I thought like maybe they would introduce the Horn of Winter or something like that. But, I mean, when he pulled up with that dragon, that was fantastic. And was he blowing ice or fire, you think?
It was definitely blue fire. Because ice wouldn't... What would ice do to the wall?
But it wasn't melting. It was kind of breaking it down. It was going through the wall.
I feel like the fire was hot enough that it was able to just literally pierce it. Like what Manny said, what is ice gonna do?
It did look like the way the wall was coming down, that it was being destroyed, not necessarily melted, that he was breaking through the wall and then it collapsed in on itself. But I think it's fire. To me, it looked like nuclear.
It looked like fire. It didn't look like ice.
It looked like Godzilla, the nuclear blast.
I mean,
Godzilla
blue fire is supposed to be even hotter than red fire.
Yeah, people forget
Can we confirm that?
Yeah.
That's an actual science thing.
That's science?
It's science. I mean, who knows how much that applies to Game of Thrones.
Right. The Maesters are big on science. But that dragon, did he get 10 times faster because he was resurrected from the dead? The way the Night King came in for the first time, yeah, he was going Mach speed.
Why did it take them 7 seasons to get to the wall?
Well, I think it's not about getting to the wall. I think it's having a way to take down the wall because they said that they can't pass under it. So the Night King could have just flew over it and left all his boys, said, I'll take care of this for
Maybe
myself.
The fire didn't necessarily break the wall. It broke whatever magic was keeping them from being able to pass through the wall. Benjen said that there's some kind of ward keeping them from going past it.
Yeah,
so maybe once it pierced it, the wall kind of just imploded.
The magic was there. How did that white that the Hound brought get past?
I feel like that's just a
because
plot hole.
No, it's not a plot hole.
It
flew over the wall. The magic is that if an undead person can't go through the wall, the magic, I don't think it's the football plane.
I guess that makes sense.
Tormund and Beric.
Tormund should have been dead like 4 episodes ago.
That's harsh.
I think no, but
there's no way he should still be alive.
What's the biggest character that died this season? Littlefinger? I mean, we'll talk about that later, but there's been so many characters in situations where they should have died and they just didn't.
Tormund especially last episode, like he was getting dragged into the water by the Whites. There's no way that anyone could have come up and saved him from that.
And it seems like in this season especially, they keep confirming that people are going to survive. When Tyrion gave Jorah the token, and when Beric said to the Hound, "We'll meet again, Clegane." As soon as I saw Beric on the wall scouting the White Walker army, I thought, oh, they're not going to die because Beric said he's going to see the Hound again. And that seems to be a confirmation now that people aren't going to die. I always say I don't want them to die, but if they're in situations where they should die, it always happens in fiction. How many shows do we watch where oh, they should have died there, but they didn't? Game of Thrones, it was never like that. It just feels like these certain characters have plot armor now where they didn't in the earlier seasons.
Did you guys think the episode started at Highgarden? For some reason, I thought it started at Highgarden.
I thought it was Castle Rock.
I thought maybe we would get a battle at first, but it was the show of strength, and we discussed this in the preview. That first scene between Jaime and Bronn, and that was a great scene when Bronn's scouting the Unsullied, and he says, "What do these men have to fight for?" And Jaime's like, "What are we all, just a bunch of cocks?" Is that what we all amount to?
I thought the interaction, speaking of Bronn, with him and Tyrion too, was he's trying to play it off cool, but I think deep down, like, Tyrion's my boy and I need to be on his side. But
these are always my favorite scenes in fiction, when you get two adversaries sitting down and just having not necessarily a non-confrontational conversation, but I thought this scene was very well done. It had some of the moments with the dialogue reminiscent of the earlier seasons. And to see all these characters, Jon and Cersei, they only shared one scene in season 1. Jon and Jaime, they had one scene in season 2. Euron, Qyburn, the Mountain and the Hound reuniting. It was a great scene overall.
Yeah, it definitely didn't go the way I thought it would be. I thought they would have had some confrontation within the confines of the Dragon Pit. I agree with you. I think the dialogue was fantastic in that whole sequence, and I think that definitely loved the Hound and the Mountain interaction. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
When he's like, "Oh, you look worse than I do now."
Yeah.
I get to see Pod and Bron's like, fuck this. Let's go get a drink. Stay with these fancy folks.
I thought there was something more to that, but no. They just went to get a drink.
I thought it was because Cersei was definitely planning to blow them all up.
At first, I thought that too. I'm like, Bronn knows what's going down, but then I realized, like...
Maybe it's because Bronn and Cersei can't be in a scene together.
Right, yeah, it's part of the contract.
Yeah.
I thought this shot right here was just going to be a glance, and that's it, and that would have been perfect. The Hound and Brienne seeing each other for the first time after their showdown in season 4. But I love that exchange that they had about Arya, and you can see that the Hound really did care about Arya when Brienne tells her that Arya's okay, she's in Winterfell, and the Hound says, who's protecting her? The only person who needs protection is anybody who gets in her way.
I love that too, because I feel like the Hound, say what you will about him, I think he really was trying to look after Arya. I mean, he kind of made it out to be like he wanted it for personal gain, but I think deep down he definitely cared for Arya. And it's kind of like these two characters, Brienne and the Hound, are two of the biggest influences on Arya post-Ned.
Yeah, and Jaqen. And Syrio Forel. And the way Daenerys showed up, I think we called that. We said
Why
that
did no one expect her to show up on a dragon? Cersei's like, where is she? Obviously, she's going to fly in on a dragon as a show of strength. Like,
flair for the dramatic. I love it.
I thought when Cersei said to Tyrion, she didn't sail with you guys, I thought Tyrion was going to say, she prefers flying.
And then when they bring the white out, too, I think that was great. And just how Qyburn just picking it up, like, oh, wow, this is pretty
he looked
interesting.
so hyped.
I'm gonna
He was
keep
like,
this.
yeah, he was like, this is a new souvenir, a new pet. He was like, don't kill it.
Yeah, you got a science boner from that. He was like, oh, what can I do with this? What experiments can I do? But Cersei seemed genuinely afraid.
Well, yeah, wouldn't you be? There
Yeah.
was a fucking zombie coming to attack you.
At first, I thought it wasn't animated anymore. I thought
it died. The magic
I
worn off.
thought literally the magic wore off and that she was going to be like, oh, so you showed me a corpse you dug up? And then it was going to all deteriorate from there.
It's like
Just have
Weekend
Jon-
at Bernie's.
Yeah, I was going to
The
say,
Hound
John
is
has like strings attached.
puppet. Hey there, Cersei. There's a bunch of us up north. You ever see a dinosaur? Yeah, but I mean, that scene, the main part of that scene, when Euron left too, I thought, wow, okay, I guess he's just a coward.
I thought that was really dumb.
Yeah, but then the way they, at the end, when Cersei revealed what
Yeah,
he
it was a
actually
great
doing.
redemption, but at first when I thought that was it, like that was all we were going to see of Euron in the season finale,
I thought the same thing.
I was tight. I was like, is this for real?
Like, oh, thanks for
He
giving us
still hit on
Euron.
Daenerys on the way out, though.
Oh, that was so funny. It's like, I'm going to my island. They can't swim. You're going to an island. Text me when this is all over.
They can't swim. How'd they get the chain on the dragon? And then we see Cersei and Tyrion.
Well, in this scene, Cersei agrees to fight with Daenerys if Jon Snow doesn't take sides between Daenerys and Cersei. And Jon, I thought he was going to lie. I thought he was finally going to play the game a little bit, maybe stop being like his father. And I already bent the knee. Sorry. Can't do it.
Stark men are idiots. It seems like the women are the only smart ones in this family.
There is something to say about honor.
Yeah, but it was still dumb.
I mean, does that change Cersei's
Wait,
decision?
you trust Cersei that she would have fought with Daenerys if
No,
Jon
but
lied?
I still think he should have lied.
Cersei was going to do what she was going to do
Yeah,
regardless
like-
of what Jon said.
if Jon,
so.
Jon lying or telling the truth made no difference to what Cersei.
That's why I don't think it's a
It makes
dumb
Jon
thing.
come out better, though. He told the truth. He had an honorable moment, and Cersei, it's not going to sway Cersei in any regard. It's not going to change the outcome. What it is, it's Jon.
But we've
Showed
seen
Jon as an honorable man, and
It's an entire show of people constantly fucking people. You said that you love the fact that Littlefinger died, that he deserved it.
Yes.
But Jon is stupid for being the complete opposite of Littlefinger.
I don't think Jon telling one lie is turning him into Littlefinger. I feel like
Isn't
we've
that
seen enough
refresh-
people be honorable, and they're all dead now. Ned
Ned and Robb.
and Robb. I feel like that's enough.
Compared to the 90 million other characters in the show
Yes.
who are horrible people.
I just wanted Jon, like, I felt like if he had told at least one lie, it would have...
Superman wouldn't have lied.
Is he Superman? Are you saying Jon
I'd
is
say Jon's
Superman?
Superman. Jon
He's
Snow
Azor
is a-
High.
is
He's
a
the
su-
prince that was promised.
Superman and Jace.
I thought it was funny when everyone was telling Jon he was dumb. He was like, oh no, I won't bend the knee because I've already bent the knee to Daenerys. And then everyone else is like, you're dumb. Like, I appreciate it. but you're dumb.
Yeah, but I also like what he said. He's like, go ahead, tell me about Ned. I don't care. I have an oath to uphold, and that's why I love Jon Snow. I think the best scene, probably, of the episode was the scene between Tyrion and Cersei.
Yeah, by far.
And that was a very risky move by Tyrion. I thought, oh, another character making a questionable decision.
There were a couple times in this episode where I thought, first with Tyrion and then with Jaime, that they were going to die, but I thought that scene was fantastic. Just the acting alone in that scene. Probably the two best actors in the whole show.
I was convinced the wine he drank was going to be poison. I was waiting for him to die at any moment.
Why would she just have poison wine chilling
Why
there?
not?
She drinks that, yo.
But she's pregnant.
Do they know about that?
Cersei-
Who
Like,
knows?
drinking
I feel
Yeah.
like that's a thing that they would do in the show and
No,
not
you can
really
drink
care
wine
about
when
the
you're
lore.
pregnant. You have a glass a night.
Her
Stats,
baby's
going
gonna
to
be retarded anyway, so
Well, you flip a coin, right? With
Yeah.
the Lannisters. That's what they...
they've gone pretty lucky so far. I don't know where I'm going with this.
What are we talking about here? You know, the relationship between Tyrion and Cersei...
Very complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated, man. And you can make a case that Tyrion is indirectly responsible for the death of Tommen and Marcella, but the fact that they didn't keep Tyrion in the loop, that they didn't use Tyrion's wit and intelligence to their benefit as a house, I think Cersei kind of realized that in this scene. And she had the chance to kill him, and she didn't. I think that maybe she does love Tyrion a little bit. It's just you can't kill your brother. Something like that.
I don't think she gives a fuck. I mean, I think at that moment, she just thought it would just be... I mean, a lot of people like to think that maybe she... I think at the moment, I think she didn't realize that the moment was bigger than her getting her revenge on Tyrion. Because if she kills Tyrion, you have a fucking horde of Dothraki and Unsullied and 2 dragons outside your doorstep. That's not the smart move, is to kill Tyrion. I don't think... I think she does realize, like, that Tyrion's maybe not as bad as she thinks he is, but I think the hatred built up for her and the fact that he killed her father, their father.
Well, his father was Aerys.
Oh, I fucking hate you. You always, every episode, you have to, like, make some snide comment that I know you don't mean, but you do it just to make me upset and to get a reaction out of me. And it works, but I don't appreciate it.
I think we're getting off track here. Might want to focus more on the scene.
That sounds
Well,
like
this
a
is
you
funny.
problem.
What we did before was a little...
Why do you feel so comfortable to roast Aaron all of a sudden?
I don't appreciate it, but what can you do?
Yeah, well, Tyrion says that Cersei, you took this meeting because you want to get something out of it. I obviously want you to fight with us. What do you want? You know, later in the episode, Cersei reveals her play. Did you think that Cersei was truly going to side with them?
Not
No.
for a second.
No.
I thought
No
the
way.
fact that they're all kumbaya all of a sudden was dumb. There were just so many things that I thought were dumb, but then they later redeemed themselves, which was great. They completely got me. They fooled me.
Well, one scene that I really thought was dumb if they didn't turn around and actually kill Littlefinger was the scene between Sansa and Littlefinger when they're playing the game.
Oh my god.
I was like, are they
I
really
was yelling.
spelling this out for us right now? What does she want? If she kills you, she's Lady of Winterfell. Sansa's like, oh my god, it's all
Especially
so
'cause-
clear to me now.
Especially because Arya has never wanted to be Lady of Winterfell. Not once has she ever wanted to be Lady. And the fact that she's like, oh, of course, Arya must want to be Lady.
Well, that's the biggest death of the season, Littlefinger.
Which was so great. So great.
I felt bad for Littlefinger,
Yeah, he
man,
was
when
on
he
his-
was like, "Take
yeah.
me back to the Vale."
I was laughing.
Nope.
I enjoyed it
He was on his
greatly.
knees begging for his life.
Good.
Come on.
He was crying. He was
Yeah.
crying.
When Bran was like, you had a knife to his throat, you said you shouldn't trust me. I was like, yes.
Littlefinger's just it's such a big part of the show, and I feel like
He
the
fell
way they
off
did
the
it, it's
last
kind of
couple-
it's kind of like, yeah, he did.
But
I'll
don't you
agree
think
with
this
that.
was inevitable?
Yes, but I don't dislike the way it happened, but I thought it could have had more of an impact. Like, that's like an afterthought that Littlefinger died. I felt like Littlefinger's death should be something pretty big. He basically made the show. When she spells it out for him, like all the things she's done, you sent a letter to my mother and father and put the Lannisters against the Starks. You divided Lysa and Catelyn. These are important events that happened. I think it was kind of brushed over, but I don't love Littlefinger. I don't root for him, but I like him for what he brings to the show.
Well, he is a great character. Aidan Gillen is a great actor. The thing is, I've never hated Littlefinger. I never despised him like I've despised somebody like Cersei, even though I totally don't hate her anymore.
I was hyped that he died. I'm glad it happened and the way it happens. Arya literally sliced the guy up.
I think it was funny that Arya said to Sansa, like, you're the one that passed the sentence. And the only thing I could think of is the Stark way. If you pass
I thought
the
same
sentence,
thing.
you should swing the sword.
I thought Sansa was going to say that. But it kind of redeems, it doesn't redeem, but it clarifies what was going on between Sansa and Arya.
Even
in the
though
last
they
episode.
definitely could have handled that better. I don't know. I had an issue with the scene because it was just them two in the room. At least maybe have Littlefinger looking on or something. As the audience, we maybe should have had maybe more of a hint. I mean, the fact that she does give her the end of the knife and not like try to stab her with it at the end is good, but
But weren't you surprised when Littlefinger did die in this episode?
yeah,
I think that was the
hyped.
intention, that they wanted us to believe that Arya could betray her sister.
When Arya first walked in, she's like, "Oh, you really want to do this?" And she started talking. I kind of figured out like she's gonna say Lord Baelish.
Right. I think up until the moment when they brought her in is when I realized, okay, this is definitely something for Littlefinger. As soon as she said you stand accused of these crimes.
Yeah, I was like, all right, it's Littlefinger. I mean, you're not gonna bring your sister into a room full of northern men with your brother sitting right next to you and execute her.
It was one of those things where I felt like if you watched it back, there weren't enough hints that pointed to this outcome, essentially.
This was another scene that I thought, it was a great scene, and then it was followed by a terrible scene. We see Jon and Theon is asking him, how come you always do the right thing? And Jon basically forgives Theon for everything that he did to House Stark. You've also forgiven Theon, right? You're a big Theon guy.
I will never forgive that slimy little snake.
All right,
He killed Robb. He got Robb killed, and I will never forgive him. Jon shouldn't forgive him. Weak way out, by the way. Don't say you're a Greyjoy and a Stark, because he's not a fucking Stark. He's a sneaky little worm who has no fucking spine. I hope Ramsay comes back as a white and captures him and wreaks him all again.
First of all, Robb got himself killed, and Theon didn't really do anything by
Fake
taking
news.
Winterfell. All he did was burn 2 farm boys.
But
And he didn't deserve getting his dick chopped off and
Yes,
everything.
he did. By taking Winterfell, he basically questioned the legitimacy of Robb Stark as King of the North. The king that lost the North had his northern banners, questioned or not if they could win the war. And once they did that, it showed Robb a weakness in the North and showed Robb as not being maybe a strong leader and a hint of doubt against the Lannisters, which gave the Boltons and the Freys reason to turn on him. If they believed Robb was going to win, they wouldn't have turned on him.
Robb
But-
shouldn't have killed Karstark.
Yeah, but Roose Bolton
Oh, so
still...
I guess pretty much you just said you're a fan of child murder, so...
Well, Robb killing Karstark is just a bigger...
Oh, you
It's a bad
like children
strategic
getting murdered
move.
too, huh?
Well, we let you talk for like 6 years there, so why don't you let us get a rebuttal here?
No.
And then that scene after that scene was I think that might be one of the worst scenes in Game of Thrones history.
That was
Yeah,
awful.
We need to save Yara. No, we don't. Let's rumble.
All characters no one cares about. The fist fight was all right. Kicking him in the nuts was kind of stupid, and then afterwards, it was like, yeah.
I thought Theon was gonna look at the camera like The Office and wink once.
Did Ramsay replace his junk with like steel? Because like if you get kneed, I don't care anywhere in the body, if it's your nuts or anywhere in the body, as hard as someone can 3 straight times, you're not gonna be like, pfft.
I mean, doesn't he still have like a wound there? Shouldn't it hurt still if he
Yeah,
gets kicked?
I'm just saying.
It's just a part of your body. He was like Brad Pitt in Fight Club. It was like Deadpool trying to punch Colossus in Deadpool.
It's like Batman versus Superman when he's beating him up with the kryptonite.
Let's
When the kryptonite like kind of
Let's
wears
not muddy
off of
this up
Superman and he
Martha?
keeps hitting him and it hurts less and less and Batman knows he's screwed.
Why did you reference that movie?
Because I love it.
Another major character that I thought was done, Jaime.
That
a
was
great scene.
so tense.
I was
It
scared.
was very nerve-wracking.
I was scared.
That was a great scene. I love that.
So I kept thinking, like, well, Cersei can't kill Jaime. Jaime has to kill Cersei. Then I'm like, oh, she's pregnant. So do I really want my favorite character to be a baby killer?
Yeah, they say the Valonqar has to kill Cersei. That's the prophecy. And Tyrion's not related to them. He's a Targaryen. But this scene, I love this scene. I love this scene because I loved how Jaime just wanted to go north. He's like, are you stupid? Did you just fucking see the zombie that tried to murder you? I'm preparing to go north. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, I got the Golden Company coming in. I got Euron. That was a nice callback, though, because the Euron scene I thought at first was really dumb. But the fact that he's bringing in the Golden Company. Again, Jaime, Cersei, do you think this is the end of their relationship?
Yes.
As a partnership?
I hope so.
Probably.
I hope so. I feel like he's going to go north. This is it. Like, they're breaking away from each other at this point. If anything, the only thing that could bring him back is the possible birth of a child. I mean...
Do you think he takes his Lannister men and betrays the crown?
I think so.
Because he's the Lord of Casterly Rock.
I was kind of waiting for this moment. In the books, it happens a little sooner where Jaime finally realizes who Cersei is and is just disgusted by her, like realizes that she's not the greatest person in the world. It's finally good to see that in the show that he realizes this as well. So you think he's going north?
I wanted so badly for him to choke her out. I knew it wasn't going to
Yeah,
happen,
but with the
I
mountain right
wanted.
there, he couldn't even have done it.
But it's just like, I just want him to choke her out.
Do you think Cersei was just trying to scare him or her
Oh,
intentions?
yeah. I think she said, Sir Gregor, just pretend like you're going to kill him. And Jaime called her bluff.
Twice. The Lannister brother called her bluff on getting killed. Because Tyrion says the same thing in the earlier interaction, basically saying the Mount, like, yeah, have him kill me, whatever, and then says no, and he's like, oh, thank God. That could have got real bad.
That worked. Yeah, I think he could go north. I think he's going to go back to Castle Rock first. I think when Cersei said call the banners, I think he's going to call the banners in the Western lands, and he's going to take those men north and fight with Jon and Daenerys. And this is something that you always wanted. You wanted to see Jaime join the super team.
Yes.
And you're getting your wish.
I thought it was never going to happen. I thought Cersei had her hooks into Jaime way too deep. After Cersei told Jaime that she was pregnant again, I was like, this is it. He's not leaving her after this point. But he is, and I'm really glad it happened. I love Jaime. So.
See, I don't like
Jaime's
that.
your favorite character, right?
Jaime is my favorite character.
I don't like that as much as you do, like him joining the super team and basically ending his full redemption as being a good guy now. I always like the fact that Jaime, he's not the monster that we thought he was in season 1 and 2, but he still has that gray area, and he's still not all good, and I think that's what makes the character even better.
I think he's had enough bad moments.
But if he was to murder Cersei and his unborn baby, would that bring back the gray a little bit?
I understand what you're saying about the gray characters, but he's done enough bad where you can let him go.
I don't know. I just always wanted him to like know what the right decision is and deep down know what the right thing to do is, but just have the weight of Cersei and his family pull him towards.
At the end,
I
he
guess,
still
the dark.
has to deal with the fact that Cersei is pregnant with their child. No matter what he does when he goes north, I feel like that's still going to be a huge issue.
Somebody who went north and arrived north, Sam, didn't go to Castle Black, went to Winterfell, little pit stop.
Well, he obviously knows Jon.
Yeah.
As King of the North, so.
And he also had to confirm that Jon's father was Rhaegar, which
he had
I
to prove
loved.
that he could also time travel now instead of taking a whole season to get to
the
one
time
destination.
travel.
Also proves that he listened to Gilly.
That's so funny that he just robbed her idea. But that whole sequence was great. I love when Bran is talking about all the things that he's seeing, and he says Jon and Daenerys are coming to Winterfell. It's like, oh, you saw that in a vision? He just holds up the letter. But that whole sequence, I mean, it's something that fans have been speculating for years. And it was finally confirmed that Rhaegar Targaryen is Jon's father. Jon is Aegon Targaryen and the rightful heir to the Iron Throne.
The only thing about that is, like,
arguably.
The only thing about that isn't Rhaegar's first son Aegon?
I have 2 Aegons.
Is he just naming all the sons Aegon? Or
Maybe he
George
was like,
Foreman
that one
did it.
doesn't count.
It's got the George Foremans in Westeros.
I mean, because Aegon is like, even though the character Aegon in the books is a totally different thing, and there's multiple interpretations of who he is, it doesn't change the fact that his first son was Aegon, and the Mountain did kill.
Well, I think it could be a matter of Lyanna and Rhaegar didn't choose a name for him, and they figured, and by the time that she was able to give Jon a name, Aegon was already dead. Rhaegar's first son.
How do you think Ned chose Jon?
I think he was like, let me think of the most basic name ever, the most unsuspicious name.
Or let me think of basically my father figure's name, Jon Arryn.
It seems like Bran didn't know that Rhaegar and Lyanna were actually married in a real ceremony until Sam had mentioned it, and then he was able to go look. So is it like he has to have an idea of something before he knows about it, or he can go...
Right, I think that there's so much for him to explore that he has to be keen in onto one specific event.
He didn't like delve deeper into it because not necessarily he didn't care about it, but I think he's just more big picture now, where maybe old Bran would have looked deeper into that. Oh my God, that's amazing, where he just sees it as another event in history. And he pretty much got the gist. Let's go on to the next thing.
Right, and the significance of the scene was that Jon is the heir to the Iron Throne, but there's so many theories about that. The fact that Jon is confirmed now to be ice and fire, and that makes him the chosen one. Jon and Daenerys, their relationship, for me, it's something that I didn't really want to see because I didn't think it was necessary for the arcs of each character. It's not even the incest. I'm so far past the incest in Game of Thrones, whatever. Aunt and nephew, it's not even the worst in the show. The characters don't even have chemistry together. It's not even a couple that I enjoy seeing them together. Like Jon and Ygritte, that was great because Jon was very stoic and serious, and Ygritte always made fun of him. You're an idiot. You're stupid. Let's go in the cave. Let's have fun. These characters, I just don't see it, and I don't find it necessary.
I don't mind it that much. I mean, you do make a good point. I think Jon and Ygritte were a fantastic couple. Even like Daenerys with like Dario. I'm not saying the actors don't have chemistry or that they're doing a poor job. It's just the characters, like you said. But come on, it makes perfect sense.
I hate the fact that they're together, and I wish it never happened. I am not a fan.
They're the two biggest characters in the show. It's ice and fire coming together. I don't want to say it's obvious, but it's, this is what the story has been leading up to this whole time.
A lot of people looked into Tyrion's glance as maybe there would be a love triangle between the 3 characters, which is stupid to me. That's not going to happen. I think it's an interesting shot because we never really saw what Tyrion said to Cersei that made her pledge her men to Jon and Daenerys, which she obviously isn't going to do. He seemed concerned.
You definitely see concern from the longing glance he gave them. I think the best reasoning for that is maybe it'll cloud her judgment. He doesn't believe Jon as a suitable match for Daenerys, being that he's still technically a bastard.
The whole thing when they first came to Westeros, he tells Daenerys that she needs to leave Daario and Meereen, and that with somebody like Jon Snow, he made the blunder in the beginning of the episode that I actually defended, but maybe that could rub off on Daenerys, that honor that Jon Snow has.
Also, I think it's kind of maybe more personal where, let's say something does come from this, then Tyrion is not going to be the voice in Daenerys' ear. It'll be Jon now. Maybe they wouldn't see Daenerys as a true queen if Jon's there with her.
Yeah, they're going to rally around the king instead. I also think it could be, I don't think this is what happened, but it's a possibility. People always say that Tyrion could betray Daenerys for his family. He seemed to regret what he did to his family when he has that conversation with Cersei. He has regret about her kids dying and killing his father, and we never see what he says to her that makes her pledge her men.
Well, if it does decide to go that way, I think the most telling line from when Tyrion's talking to Cersei is when she says that you just said that she was going to destroy King's Landing, and then he points to himself as being the voice of reason for Daenerys. So basically what he's kind of saying is without him, who knows what Daenerys would do. And I guess that ties into if Jon's by her side instead of Tyrion, maybe he doesn't feel that Jon can control it the way he can as well.
Well, even the scene when they're discussing to go to Winterfell, the scene with Jorah, when Jorah makes a suggestion, and she listens to Jon.
It seemed like they cured Jorah of grayscale so he could have awkward moments where he's watching Jon and Daenerys.
Right, that
Tyrion.
scene when they're talking about going north and Jorah suggests his plan. Maybe you should fly. Daenerys is like, I'll take a fucking boat, Jorah. Don't ruin this for me.
God, you're so annoying.
God. I don't know. Where do you think this relationship goes? You think they're going to have a child? Because they kind of hinted at that, too, that Jon was like, maybe you shouldn't trust the witch that killed your husband. Maybe you can have a kid.
Maybe he'll kill her.
Whoa. Damn.
To fulfill the prophecy.
What if they have a baby and then Jaime and Cersei's baby, and then they grow up and they have to fight each other? Now that's television. They could do like a Boyhood thing where we just like, they just film it over 30 years of the babies growing up.
What do you think they're going to name the baby? Aegon? Holy Mother of Moses, 125,000 subscribers. Our goal at the end of this year was to hit 50,000. That was our goal as a channel. We wanted to get to 50,000. 125,000. I cannot thank you guys enough for everybody that subscribed to the videos, that comments and gives us positive feedback. This is really just truly amazing. It's what we love to do. We love to talk about TV, movies, and specifically Westworld, Game of Thrones, all of these great shows. So once again, we want to thank you. And specifically, I want to thank the people that have contributed to our Patreon account, people who actually donate money to help our channel grow. It's a great honor that you guys believe in us, that you believe in the channel. We've got some cool reward tiers where you can get some Nerd Soup merchandise, you can get access to a behind-the-scenes video that basically explains the process on how we animate and record and put these videos together, and you can find out the history of the channel, why we chose to make the channel this way, why are you watching animated cartoons talk about real life? I don't know. It's pretty far-fetched, but hey, it's working so far, right? There's also other places that you can find us across the internet. We're on Twitter at NerdSoup4You. We're on SoundCloud. That's where we post our podcasts. You can also find us on iTunes at the Nerd Soup Podcast. And we're also on Instagram. We're on Facebook. You can like us there, follow us there. We'll be posting Nerd Soup stuff. And for the moment that you guys have all been waiting for all the comments that we get, show your face. What do you guys look like? Are you butt ugly? Are you good looking? Well, here it is. The Nerd Soup giveaway. If you can match the 5 people in this picture to the characters that they voice, you will receive a Nerd Soup t-shirt, a Nerd Soup mug, and you will receive a $50 Amazon gift card. So this is the big Nerd Soup Season 7 finale giveaway. Comment below, who do you think is matched up with each character, and then we will reveal it in our next video, so be on the lookout for that. I just want to say thank you again for all the people who have subscribed. It's really a great honor, and we'll see you next year, Season 8. We're not dropping any videos between now and Season 8 of Game of Thrones. No, I'm kidding. We're going to do movie reviews, we're going to do shows, we're going to do a bunch of stuff, so be on the lookout. We're not a one-hit wonder, okay? We're not Soulja Boy.